Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it is February 17th of 2021. Let me see, it's a Wednesday. Monday, in fact, I'm going to make a video, but I'm going to get this online right away. But I'm going to make a video because I've got a few clips that I've taken around here. And But Monday at about 8 a.m. in the morning, we lost power. We're in, just heard something pop. I hope it's not a pipe or something. Uh, we're in Fort Worth, Texas, in zip code 76116. We're in the west part of Fort Worth. Uh, we had snow on the ground, what have you. I stepped out, opened up a sliding door, patio door, stepped out with the camera, and you're going to see that video at some point. A cat that was in a cat house. We have two cat houses out there, one of them black. I didn't know that the cat was in there. We've had a cat stay in there a few times, but for some reason, I guess they hate us. And I didn't know it was in there, so I went out with the camera and just happened then to swing over with my cell phone. This video was made, no, the video you're going to see, was made with a cell phone. So I got the video of the cat jumping up and taking off. And then I stepped back in pretty quick because it was cold out there. As soon as I stepped back in, bang, we lost electrical power about 8 a.m. Monday. If you've watched my videos, I'm going to be in March 80 years of age. I've had a pacemaker put in. I've got a bunch of, type 2 diabetes, prostate problems, a bunch of, things like that. And arthritis really bad, and especially cold weather, and just doing things around here. Like, I like to move I don't like to, I just have to do it, move my computer equipment around or move stuff around. So I'm having to get down to the floor and plug in or unplug something. It is agony with my arthritis, and it gets worse, and it's worse in cold weather. So the point I'm making is life's hard enough without not having electrical power. Anyway, the electrical power went off. Also, my ex-wife shares this apartment, and she's younger than I am. Let's see. When we got married, I was 26, she was 18, so do the math. She's confined to a wheelchair all the time. So she's either in bed or she's in her wheelchair. If she's in her wheelchair, then she's probably at the computer in the living room. So mobility is a real problem. We don't have a car. If we did have a car, we wouldn't be able to afford a car with, a chairlift or something. So we have to make do with a service here for people like that if she has to go to the doctor's office or something like that. And that's basically, when she gets it, she got out last week to get her second coronavirus shot. But it's difficult for her, and she has breathing difficulty and so forth and so on. Also, my grown son lives here, so all three of us share the cost of this apartment. And so the power went off Monday about 8 a.m. This is Wednesday, February 17th, and the power came on, I think, less than 2 hours ago. When we didn't have the power, we do have a fireplace, and I don't think in this video I'm going to go into how, the problems with getting firewood and that type of thing. I'll go into that, I think, in the next video. which will be about that, I think. Uh, our family, well, I have a grown daughter, and she has a son, and they live in the same apartment complex that we live in. She does have a vehicle, and so she was, well, I'm going to go in that next video. She was able to, but the roads became slippery, and down here, Texans do not know how to drive in slippery weather or ice or snow or anything else. They're just not used to it. But she was able to get out and get more firewood. I had ordered some firewood in, I'd ordered some firewood in, and because we were expecting, and I ordered 2 boxes of, forget the name of it, but it's a good, first time I ever used it. This is the first time I've ever used a fireplace, I think, actually. And my son took over that job. So, when we lost power, it just came back on Wednesday, a couple hours ago. And so it was 3 days. And it was supposed to apparently be a rotating thing, that people would lose power for 2 hours or something, and then they would switch to some other people, and some other people do that. Because of by the way, in the United States, there's the East Coast power grid, there's the West Coast power grid, and Texas prides itself that they're their own power grid. And of course, I don't understand it, it's over my head, but these networks are all hooked in, different companies and places that manufacture electricity with fans, with windmills, or not windmills, whatever they're called. And then we have, Texas has a lot of oil, and I think other things. So all these different places, and I forget how many, if it was on the news, how many different plants there are producing electricity down here. And they're all connected together. And in order to, they say, to hold down the cost and to make things more reliable, they are interconnected, and if one of the place has excess electricity, they put it on the network. In other places, I don't know how they work out the finances, but other places use it. If places need power, something happens, oil production, something happens, the solar wind vanes or whatever they are, something happens, no wind or something, I don't know, whatever happens, then they can draw, and all this. So it's set up. Otherwise, I guess they would have to have more production, so there'd be more plants than they needed, and they'd have to pay for them, and all kinds of problems, more pollution in the air, and all that type of stuff. So they do this interconnecting, and Texas is not the only place that does it. So they have a body set up, which right now I'm sure people are very upset with. There's a national group or whatever that decides, they have an agreement, and they decide that, okay, we're going to move this power here, going to move this power here. Now, sometimes it becomes necessary, something happens, and it becomes necessary to, okay, well, there's not enough power, and so what we need to do is turn the power off to these people here, and for a short period of time or whatever, and then, if they have to, they'd switch to somebody else, and for, 2 hours, 3 hours, or whatever the deal is. And it's set up like that. And so this, in this case, state body you know. This is my daughter, Hillary. Hi, Hillary. I'm making a YouTube video. How does it feel to have electricity?
I was so excited. The cats are sitting here. We're burning what I think is the last of the fire logs for this thing, and less we need to. I don't know how long it's going to take to warm up in here. We went ahead and cranked it up.
I think that
How are you guys?
we're doing okay. Dar doesn't even know it. She hasn't woke up yet. She's going to be really so...
Oh, yes, that's what I was wondering. It's probably going to be a little cold still, because it's cold here. I guess it takes a while to warm it up because it's been so cold and there's been no heat for a while.
My room is pretty warm because I turned on that electric heater just to get it kicked up in my room. I'll turn it off when I get it up, but it's 65 degrees here right now. You know, out in the...
Yay! Yeah, it means it's rising, yes. Very good. Well, I'll be okay. I hope they don't turn it back off. I can't believe people do that to each other. I mean, God, even Americans you would expect more of.
That's what
sorry, but that was bad of them.
That's what I'm talking about a little bit in this video that I'm making right now for YouTube that I'm going to upload here in a few minutes. So, yeah, I called Ken and told Ken, and Ken passed the word. Did I tell you that the stuff they ordered for us wasn't going to be delivered?
Yeah, you told me that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'm thinking everybody don't want to drive out in this stuff and all that for sure. They probably can't get nobody to work.
Yeah. But anyway,
Wow.
I think this is so much better now. That was rough, and Dar, you know, she doesn't take things too well, so she was angry a lot of the time, and then depressed a lot of the time, and.
I thought she was going to cry when she was saying she couldn't take it anymore, and I was so worried about you guys, my God. And I was so worried about the cats. Well, now little Stripey came out, and she sneezed a bunch of times. I think this is going to be more costly than anything, because they're all probably going to get colds and have to go see the doctor again.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
What a mess.
I can't wait to take a shower. And I didn't try shaving. I didn't want to shave with cold water. And then
Russell said he turned on his water in his sink in the bathroom and the hot water and let it run for a while, and it was hot. So I got excited, and I went to my bathroom and I turned on the hot water. There's no water, not cold or anything coming out of that hot water. But when I turn on the cold water, water comes out. So it's not frozen pipes. There's something wrong with the hot water.
Yeah, you know,
Same with the kitchen.
The water here, they have a boiler and they do it that way, but they have a electric pump, of course, to pump the hot water. So yeah, I just hope
so they have an electric pump for their hot water heater. That's what, not getting any water out on the hot.
It could be that, I haven't tried it, but it could be that thing shut down, and might take somebody actually to physically flip the switch or something on the pump, for the hot water. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first thing I was wanting to do. I was wanting to take a shower, and I want to log in so bad to work, but since I've got to make $2,500 every day, there's no way I can make that before the cutoff time at 2 a.m. Maybe I could, but probably not with being off, because people won't know I'm on, so they won't be calling.
I think I'd wait it.
I'm scared to do it, because what if they turn it off again? They don't warn you or anything. That's crazy. I'll be fired.
Yeah,
if I'm not already.
I don't think they. Remember, we're making a YouTube video, by the way. Don't mention any names.
Well, that's okay. Yeah.
I don't think they would turn it off again to this area like this, but there's always a possibility that something would happen, so yeah, I'm going to be worried for a while.
I don't trust them, yeah. I didn't know they did that in the first place to begin with, and to just be cut off right in the middle of work, and it's just horrible. I don't know how people can work out here.
Now, I don't think it
you
had.
You never know what's going to happen.
I don't think it had anything to do with this thing here, but here in Fort Worth, a school that has over 1,000 delinquent children in it, their power went off at 2 a.m. in the morning, and it got really, really cold. So.
And I looked on the news, facility with the women, correctional center, but they said there's a lot of people with medical issues there. Well, and there's some of them with the COVID, so they were really sick and not feeling good, and they have no heat. They had no heat. I guess they got it back on, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They said they had no heat for days, so I guess maybe they must have got it back on for them too.
LaDonna,
I was saying, it would be the time I stocked up so big on firewood. But we've got it for next time.
Yeah. LaDonna said that before the power came back on, she said that this is like the #2 story on CNN, and that Texas has been at the top of the thing because of the problems, and there's going to be some repercussions from that. And I have.
Well, that's the only reason they did it. I'm sure. I'm 100% sure on that, because they knew they looked like jerks. Otherwise, and they were trying to make it sound like people were out there helping, like National Guard and all that, because I read on one of the news medias in America that they had National Guard out giving, I guess firewood and blankets and all that stuff. And I guess you read that too when you had me call them, but they sure weren't. They didn't know anything about any of that, and they gave me that other number. And they were talking about people on respirators and on oxygen machines. Like, they just turn it off and they don't care if somebody's dying or not. It's crazy.
Like I said, LaDonna said that, that the storm across the United States has been like, #2 news story, and said that Texas has been like the #2 story in that area, and that she thinks there's going to be a lot of investigations and complaints and checks and things about the whole thing. And
but if they're doing it in every state in the U.S., then how is somebody supposed to be able to work from home in America if you don't know if you're going to be able to work, or you're going to be cut off in the middle of work?
Well, I think this is. Is
there any state that doesn't do it?
Oh yeah, I think there's some that they're probably set up to do it, but don't probably ever have to, do it. So, yeah, I think there's going to be down for here in Texas. I think there's going to be some complaints about how everything was done. People said that they called and couldn't get anybody. One guy said he called for like 13 hours and couldn't, or if he did get somebody, there was no help at all. So I think there's going to be some complaints about it.
Well, there should be. I think somebody should sue them. I mean, look at how much I lost from the 2 days of work. Look at how much we spent on the firewood, how much I paid for the firewood today and the other day, and the firewood I just bought, because we don't know if this is going to happen again, so that's their fault too, because otherwise we would never, you know what I mean? All this is because of them, and if I'm docked on work, or if I'm, like, not getting so many calls and chats coming in because I'm, on a bad list, then that's their fault too, plus the stress and anguish and everything.
I don't know how.
Everybody was stressed. Plus the cat bills are going to be outrageous.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. If it's a state agency, I don't know how it's set. I don't know how it's set up. If it's a state agency or something, it might be that they might be protected from being sued unless the state allows it or something. I probably better let you go. Get this YouTube video uploaded and make sure.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, well I love you guys, Dad. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
We're live on YouTube. You want to stick your head in the camera or anything?
No.
Okay, you don't have to. Anyway, that was my daughter, and she was a big help during this thing. She spent, I think today was $700.
Yep.
For firewood. We had some of the good normal stuff that you order that's firewood. It worked great. It's in a package. You don't take it out of the package, and you just pull the ends of it out and you light it in the corner, and it worked great for about 3 hours. So we had 12 of those all together. And then of course my daughter Hillary, when she went to get, because we were then out, and I had just ordered that in for a storm that I thought was going to develop, and it didn't. And we wouldn't have had, but it did show up before this, luckily. Actually, I ex-wife gave me hell when I ordered, because I told her I was ordering, I mean, this firewood for a storm that was coming, and I ordered 2 boxes of it, and then I ordered it from, I think Walmart. I can't remember. Or was it Amazon? I can't remember. I think it was Walmart, actually. Yeah, I was. I usually order everything from Amazon. And then I told her, I said, oh, I ordered it, and, but we're not going to get it until such and such a date. And then she said, why did you order, ex-wife, why did you order it? And I said, well, we're going to need it next winter or something. Well, you shouldn't have ordered it. And I said, well, I ordered it, And anyway, luckily it came a couple of days early, and it got here in time for this event. And but then that great firewood, it was so easy to handle and everything, and it gave you like good heat for 3 hours. And of course it didn't. This place was basically, for 3 days, the high temperature was 64 or 62 or something like that. Did I mention that I worked for years and years? I worked as a welder, where building railroad cars, where there was a building, just a roof, and railroad trains could pass through it. And I worked in the winter, and of course I'm welding, so my hand is nice and hot. My clothes get caught on fire a few times, but when I would leave, my feet would be like, numb and frozen. Maybe not frozen, but I was, And then I worked later I worked exactly 1 year at that job. The job was so bad that I would, Darby Corporation in Kansas City, Kansas. I'd go in and, okay, I'm gonna quit at noon, and or I didn't work days, but I'm gonna quit halfway through, and then, okay, I'm already here, so I'm just gonna stay. And I did that it was exactly a year, because I realized, I don't know how I knew, but this is my anniversary date. I've been there 1 year, and I told myself, I'm going to go in and I'm going to quit at halfway through and tell them, And anyway, I went through and worked the entire day and then told them I quit. And then a few years later, they had another location they called the shipyard, because during World War II, they made landing craft for the military. And I worked there 3 months. During the time I worked there, we had one of our workers there who fell and had both legs and an arm cut off. But the Darby Corporation was generous with him. Harry Darby, was a United States Senator, a Republican. They were generous to him. They gave him a job as a timekeeper, that took care of the time cards or whatever. Anyway, I worked for them 3 months, and I had a lot of other jobs. And then, of course, the 30 years I worked hospital security, depending on what hospital I worked at, I'd sometimes go into work and spend 8 hours just jump-starting people, or getting people into cars that had been in Missouri, that the locks were frozen up or whatever. And then I worked at one hospital where we took over a hospital where we used a home and lawn, and that was the name of it, I think, home, lawn and garden. And we would, when it snowed or iced up, this was on a hill too, called Hospital Hill. And for Kansas City, when a storm came in, that was like the worst place because of the wind blowing and because of the ice and everything. And anyway, this home, lawn, and garden, we would, when snow would come or whatever it was, security would call them. They'd be there in an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours at the most. And they'd come in with the whole crew, and they would do a fantastic job. And the employees at the hospital were just so happy with us because they knew what the situation was, and they knew that wasn't our job, but we would do what we could for that hour or two, while till they got there, and employees just loved us as much as employees can love, security, and then our director of security decided that we should take over doing snow removal, and he got us a Jeep with a blade, and eventually got us a back. Forgetting now what's called, front loader, whatever. He got that for us, and then a truck with a blade on it, and then we had a thing to pull behind and security. We did it, and we actually worked our asses off, but the employees fucking hated us. The employees would say, "I drove all the way in a blizzard here, and I got stuck just now in the parking lot. You guys are worthless," And so anyway, I spent entire shifts, sometimes, outside, in bad weather at work when I worked, hospital security. When I was a reserve police officer, at the beginning for years there weren't any full-time officers, so I have driven over, and I worked one night a week, and the other guys did too. Each one of us had one night a week that we would work. It was up to us what time we went in. It was up to us when we quit. And I've many times driven in a blizzard over, and there was no full-time officer. So when I got there, I got the car out of the garage and went out and patrolled the city in a blizzard by myself. And so, but these 3 days, and plus I'm going to be 80 in March, and got a lot of medical problems. It's just been miserable. I haven't taken a shower yet. I want to take a shower, and I want to shave with hot water. Maybe I can't. Hey, maybe from what my daughter said, may not be any hot water tonight until the maintenance guys here at this apartment complex, until they come in and do whatever they need to do. Probably just turn on the pump. Hope the pump didn't freeze up or something and break. Anyway, I don't know if you can tell or not. There's pain is right here. This is during this time. I've never had any problem like this before. Maybe yesterday, maybe the first. I'm not sure. I think it was the second day. I woke up and it was like blisters or lumps or whatever on two of them side by side. What the hell is that? With you don't want to get out, and plus two, there's the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff. So then this morning when I woke up, there was just one here, and it sort of, I don't know what in the hell that could be. I've never heard of that, and so I need to get in to see the doctor. I haven't gotten in to see the doctor because I don't really want to go in with the virus situation that is, but I think I'm going to have to because my prescriptions, I think the doctor is not going to renew any of my prescriptions until I get in and have lab work done. I'm going to have to ask about this. Then we have to ask, I've had this for quite a while. Oh, down here. A lump underneath the skin right there. And it hurts when I pick anything up or do anything with it. And it's been quite a while that I've had it. And so, no fun getting old. I've made some videos in the past where I didn't make them about that subject, but where, you know, if you're a young person, take care of yourself, you know. Well, one, you know, save money. And 10%, put, no matter, and then don't count, you know, just save 10% of everything you make. And then, of course, hopefully you're working where you're going to be getting Social Security one of the days, and Medicare one of the, you know, because you're paid in X amount of time. And if you work someplace that's nice and you have a tax sheltered annuity or something, go ahead and put into that, and don't count that. Still take that, put that 10. I know it's hard if you can do it, and you know, but you know, do that, and then also take care of your health. I thought, you know, working hard like I did all my life, sometimes 2 jobs, a lot of times 2 jobs, and I was wrong. Masturbating daily is not cardiovascular exercise, by the way. I can attest to that. So, I don't know. Take care of yourself. And if you're a young guy, young person, you're like, you know, but no. The last few years, you know, my problem started about age 65, which is kind of interesting. That's the age in the United States that you can, you know, retire and get your Social Security money. And it looks like they figured it out just about, well, okay, let people draw at 65 and they won't be around long. Of course, they're mistaken, but anyway, take care of yourself. I'm going to upload this now. Actually, the video turned out better than I thought by Hillary calling, my daughter calling in. I think you got some feeling from that, you know, from a person here that, so anyway, thank you very much for watching. Oh, by the way, please use the links below, because I'm not going to monetize any of my videos anymore on YouTube. So you shouldn't see any ads put in by Amazon or by YouTube, because I'm not authorizing them. They don't have but one setting. There's not a setting I can turn it off for all of them. So every time I make a video, I'm going to be asked when I'm uploading it, and I might forget sometime and forget to click the thing and say don't monetize it. But if you could do me a favor and please use the links below. The monetization that I've been getting from YouTube is about $34 a month, and you have to make $100, you know, before they put it in your account. So it takes about 3 months before I was getting $100 in my account. I'm poor. $100 is a lot of money, but it's not worth putting up with some of the crap, you know. So I'm getting now, for the last about 4 months, I've been getting money from Amazon from the links below, that $60, $80, $100 a month. I got one at $100 a month, and so that's please use the links below. You just, you know, just click on it and go there. And if you're just gonna say you're gonna go look at Amazon, check out something, and you go there. If you click on my link and you go there, and then you go someplace and you buy something, I make some money. It doesn't cost you anything. So please do that for me. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to upload this now.